This is chapter 32 of Getting to Know Grace. Herta enters the room where her mother was staying in. You're back. I got worried when you went after her, especially when it got late. I was just looking around the area. It really is secluded. It feels like we can be safe here. What is it that you're working on? I found some leftover needles and thread in the closet and this bit of cloth from curtains. Do you remember how I made you socks when you were little? The socks that fairies rest in. I was thinking of hanging them up here too. Would you like some help? I'm quite good at this. Are you really? Who do you make it for? The young miss? Yes. It was only when we were young, but every Christmas, I would make her a pair of socks. A past memory of Herta. The maids are accusing Herta of stealing. How dare you steal? Whack, whack. Herta's father rushes to her. What's going on? Herta stole some cloth from the sewing room. I didn't. I simply picked up the pieces that had fallen onto the floor. They were going to be thrown away anyway. Have you no shame? As the maid brings up her hand ready to hit Herta again. Herta stares at her father. You're still giving her socks? I'm sure you haven't forgotten my warning. Why do you still? I just think it's funny that she gets so happy from this. She's a noble's daughter. How can she be happy to receive a scrap of cloth for Christmas? Herta, I know. It's foolish of me, but this was seriously going to be the last time. I was going to give it to her one last time, and then throw them all away. Herta begins to throw the socks into the fire. Even as a young girl, I knew that my pity and compassion for her was presumptuous. As I threw what I couldn't have nor give into the dying fire, Herta continues to toss all the socks into the fire. The next day, Grace is in her room, scrambling to look for the socks. Herta watches Grace from afar. Herta, all the socks you have made me disappeared. Bella says she doesn't know what I'm talking about. I'm sure father told her to throw them away. They were so precious to me. Tears start to fall from Herta's eyes. I shouldn't have thrown them away. I shouldn't have. But at the Duke's mansion, I recommend limiting your movements outside the house. The spots have increased in numbers. If these symptoms get worse, the treatment may cause your skin to decay as a side effect. As Herta's father is giving the Duke a checkup. My skin should not decay. Isn't that your job? Knock knock. Your Excellency, I have brought it here. Ah, the present I was going to give you has arrived. A servant comes in holding a box. Take it. I've prepared this for you, since I'm sure you miss your wife's touch. And it is a hand. A severed hand. Is that? It's the gift not to your liking, Doctor. Herta's father doesn't say anything. I will remember your gift, sire, while Herta's father is holding onto the box. Grace witnesses the holding. Outstanding performance, Dr. Richard. Oh, and it appears that there was some accident at Lillian, and your daughter was injured. She's healing at the hospital near Lillian. Herta? How badly is she hurt? Is it so bad that she can't return home? We will soon find out. You're excused. Herta's father tries to get some answers from Grace. Miss Grace? I said you are excused. He gives the Duke a bow. Yes, Your Excellency. Creak! Do you intend to not tell Dr. Richard the truth? I'm still waiting on confirmation. Why don't you believe me? I would never joke about Herta's life. Poor Herta. She left the world so soon after Bella cut off her finger. Andrew, I'm sure you're aware. There is not a fly in the world I couldn't find. Where did you hide Herta? You ought to believe me, father. In my anguish over Herta, I set my room on fire. Grace looks at her father. I wanted to die too. Is this a threat? Threatening that you'll die if I touch Herta? Herta is dead, father. But do you think I could really die when I have to birth this family's heir? I know what you were after. Carrying on the bloodline is the only reason you insist on my marriage with a royal. Your aim is for the heir of the Grace family to be this nation's king, isn't it? In that case, you must live a long time. Your attitude seems to have worsened. The king's birthday is imminent and you must appear suitable. Your talking so freely is not promising. Grace gives her father a bow. Return to your room. I must find someone else to look after your education. Grace is walking the halls of the mansion. But She clenches onto her chest. I still fear father. It is hard to breathe in his shadow. She holds onto the wall for support. I miss Herta, but I mustn't anymore. And that is the end of the chapter.